I think with Trent Murphy today, it gives you 12 guys on injured reserve. I think 5 started a game, at least a game for you this season. Is that obviously it can't help with what you were going to accomplish, but can you sort of quantify that?
Yeah, no, it's and they're all on defense. It seems like every one of them are on defense, and when you start losing starters, then your backups have to become starters, obviously, and then you're looking to fill the backup roles, and those backups who become starters were key special team guys, and you have to fill the special teams, and it's a domino effect. It's a tough thing to go through, especially when it all hit on the same side of the ball. So I think Coach Haslett, the defensive coach, has done a good job of working with what they have, and the players have done a good job of trying to come in here and learn as fast as they can and be ready when their number's called. But it does have some effect.
Jay, it looked like Robert had a play call list on his wrist. I hadn't noticed that before. What went into that decision, and do you think it helped?
We just wanted to experiment a little bit. We have some calls that are a little bit wordy, and just put about 5 or 6 runs on there and a couple play action plays and a couple drop backs. Just maybe speed up the process. Maybe for third down, where you just say, "Hey, number 5," he can look at it and read it instead of me saying it and then Sean saying it. So it worked out pretty good. I think we can add to the list a little bit, but I think towards the middle of the game we end up just calling them anyway. It was kind of hard to find the numbers and all that. So, but there is some merit to it, no question.
Jay, I know it's really, really early in the week. Do you have any feel for what Trent Williams might be able to do against the Cowboys?
Yeah, no idea. It's early, and he's just got to get his necessary treatment. I imagine it'll come down to the last minute like it did last week.
Yeah, Robert was very successful doing things one way, Heisman Trophy, Rookie of the Year. Now kind of changing his ways some. Have you found it to be hard in your coaching career, taking a guy who's been successful doing things one way and changing his habits to doing something different?
It's hard. Everybody coming out of college, there's different fundamentals and techniques that you have to learn and work through as whatever position you're playing. Quarterback especially, when you're coming from a spread offense like he had at Baylor, some of the drops and some of the fundamental things that you ask a quarterback to do in the NFL are a little bit different, things he's never really done. But that comes with repetition. It comes with being more comfortable and understanding the route concepts have to be matched up with your footwork and fundamentals. And the more he hears them and the more he practices them, the better he'll get at it. You can see he's progressing already.
Jay, obviously, you got a game left, but as you look at, going into the offseason with this defense, with all the injuries and everything else, does it really hit you how much work you have to do on that side of the ball to get this thing up to where you want it to be, a championship-type level?
Yeah, I mean, yes, we tried, like I said, in the offseason, we thought we did a pretty good job addressing some of the depth concerns that we had going into the season, but then those guys got hurt. A lot of those guys got hurt. The Sharptons, the Akeem Jordans, and of course Adam Hayward got hurt there later on in the year, and then Arakpo goes down, D. Hall goes down. Tracy Porter never really was able to go full go, and Keenan's been up and down, and so a lot of those guys, like I said before, just continuity is a big thing on defense, and repetition. So when you have a new guy at Mike linebacker every other day, or a new guy at left corner every day, and you move a guy from safety to other safety and a guy from nickel to corner or corner to nickel, it takes its toll. And it sounds easy, but it's not for these guys that come in here. Now I got the vertical hook, now I got this. How do I play this in fire zone? There's a lot of fundamentals, a lot of teaching that goes on, and Raheem and Coach Haslett and the rest of the coach have done a good job as far as getting these guys ready to go. But it has affected us, and it does, moving forward next year. The good thing is we got a lot of young guys some reps, so we also got to look at some key young players moving forward too. So there has been some good to come out of it.
Jay, last week, relatively drama-free. Your quarterback started and finished the game, and you won the game. Did that feel like, this is what it's supposed to feel like after a long stretch of insanity?
Yeah, I mean, it's good to get a win, man. We needed it greatly. I think the whole team needed it. Quarterback obviously needed it. I think everybody needed it. But to go through the week, prepare, compete against a team that really had a lot to play for was very impressive evening by a lot of guys. In defense, we gave up a lot of yards, but we made some key situational stands when it really counted. I think the first drive of the third quarter where we fumbled the opening kickoff was huge. There was a 3rd and goal that we got a stop on where Perry Riley broke up a pass, and of course the interception by Breland. And then the special teams did some great things. So it was great to see all 3 units step up and make big plays when they had to get the win.
I think it Sorry. Coach, talk about what it would mean to sweep Dallas. This is your first year as a head coach, Dallas week here in D.C. You know it's a big deal. What would it mean to end the season sweeping them?
Well, it'd be a great deal. This is a very good football team that we're playing. Obviously, they played Indianapolis last week, and they're almost perfect, both offensively and defensively, and they're playing at a very high level. So in order to come out here, our last game of the year, compete with Dallas and beat Dallas would mean a lot. Just to see where we are ending the season on 2 huge victories against 2 quality opponents and 2 arch rivals. So it's going to be an exciting game for us. I know we're 4-11, not a whole lot of excitement after this game happening, but still, to beat Dallas, to play Dallas, was a great opportunity for a lot of guys to get more work and go against a heck of a football team. That's always great.
I asked you about this, I think, at some point in training camp, about how hard it is to be patient specifically with the quarterback position and letting that all develop. As you've gone through this year, have you found that your patience needed to be a lot more than maybe it was at that point or earlier in your career, or is it about the same?
Well, we were forced to make some changes based on injury a couple times. Obviously, Robert got hurt against Jacksonville, which started the whole process of changing quarterbacks. And when he got hurt, he opened the door for other guys to play. And when they play well, when you come back and you know you have backups that can play, you open up yourself to getting taken out if you don't perform at the level you're expected of. So, I try to be patient with quarterbacks. I try to be patient with everybody, but I also understand that the ultimate goal is to win the game, and you have to play the best people at the position, and those are the decisions that are the toughest for the coach to make, is who's better fit to beat Dallas this week. And this week we know it's Robert, but in the past it's decisions that were tough to make, but we had to make them, and we thought they were the best for the football team.
Talked earlier about the young players you've been kind of forced to play on defense. With Murphy out of there, are you thinking Jeff Coat gets to go against his dad's old team, or what are you thinking you're going to do?
Yeah, Jeff Coat will get to play, and of course, we'll get Gabe Miller hopefully back this week, and we've got some guys over there that are picking up the slack and taking advantage of some repetition, some reps, and it's good to see Jeff Coat get a sack. Got to work on a sack dance. Good to see him get a sack.
And unrelated question, Jarvis Jenkins is a guy we haven't talked about very much this year. He's been here 4 years now. How have you assessed his play, because his contract's up?
Jarvis has done fairly decent against the run, man. He's a load in there in the running game, and our run defense has been pretty solid throughout the course of the season. Obviously doesn't have any sacks this week, so transitioning from a run defender to a pass rusher, we'd like to see a little bit better, but I think Jarvis has given us some pretty good minutes. He's part of that rotation of those big guys in there that really do a good job holding up against the run and freeing up the linebackers. So he has done some good things. Obviously, we'd like to see a little bit more from the pass rush standpoint, but overall he's had a pretty decent year.
With Robert, have you seen enough in his body of work this year to say this is a guy I'd like to roll with in 2015? And going into that, do you kind of project what an offseason might be able to do for him in the system?
Well, we got one more game left, and after that game, we'll go down and go through the roster and evaluate everybody, quarterbacks included. And we just want to see progress, like I said, and him to come out and continue to play and gain some momentum and confidence going into the offseason. And you're right, another good, solid offseason with the same concepts and the same play, the same drops and the same footwork will do them nothing but good. So hopefully we can build off another strong performance Sunday and go into the offseason a little chippier than we would be.
You obviously have an idea of how you want your offense to run, ideally. When it comes to working with Robert, how much have you seen or tried to tailor things to his strengths versus things that you want to do, and maybe the give and take that comes in there?
That's a process. Since he missed so much time, and I'm still really, to be honest with you, we're still getting to know one another and what he's good at, what he likes, what he's comfortable with, and he did a good job in training camp. He does a good job as far as knowing the football place, and you really don't get a chance to see what he's really comfortable with until you call him on game day. Practice is a little bit different, but I think we're just starting to get a good feel for one another, and there's certain things that he does better than others. Not saying he's poor at anything, but there are things that he just needs to continue to rep and work, and hopefully he'll get better.
Coach, how do you feel like Philip Thomas did in his second start?
He did pretty good. He did some good things. The whole defense. Like I said, we gave up some yards, and there were some zones that got a little bit out of whack there, and they got some yardage that you know, was kind of easy for them. We didn't do a very good job in certain situations, but overall I thought Philip, he tackled well and did a pretty good job. I'd like to see him get his hands on some balls, though. But otherwise, I think he filled in nicely.
Kind of playing off Zach's question about Robert and what things that you've had to do and tailored to him, you've used more play action the last couple weeks. Is that by design, or is that one of those things where you say this is something that he does or has done well in the past?
Oh, we always try to do that. If you look at us early in games, we try to utilize play action quite a bit. You know, sometimes the play action goes out the window when you're down 12, 13, 14, 20 points. And unfortunately, he's been a quarterback, you know, like against Tampa Bay, we got down early in the third quarter, had to catch up. And, you know, when you have a whole half of a football game where play actions and the boots and all that are out because you got to drop back and throw it all the time, it you know, it skews the numbers. But no question, any quarterback, Kirk, Colt, all of them are much better when first down, second down, we can utilize the play action in the boots. And that's when we're at our best. Unfortunately, like I said, we get down or behind in the sticks, third down and 12, and that's when all quarterbacks have trouble, not just ours.